Niloloko mo kami mga Pilipino. Yun ang ibig sabihin. Pakisabi nga sa kanya, niloloko kami yung mga Pilipino. Niloloko mo kami. Sabihin mo. Alam niya eh. Teka. Alam mo, di ba? Niloloko. Alam mo yung niloloko? Kunyari ko pa eh. Niloloko mo ko eh. Kung ako, Mr. Chair, kukumpiskahin na lang yung yaman nito at pauwi na sa China ito. Meron ba siyang kaso sa China? Meron siyang kaso?
Wala pa.
May kaso. Wala pa daw.
Wala.
Wala kang kaso.
Wala.
Pero mo, alam mo yung kaso. Kita nyo? Nahuli natin. Marunong mag-Tagalog to, nakakaintindi. Huling-huli.
Mr. Chair, can we hear Alice Go speak in Chinese? Please use the microphone.
英文嘅話，即係啲今日是用菲律賓再生啲，唔是用大陸再生啲。
一直即是第一問題話，即係為什麼啲選擇菲律賓唔是大陸？
Ako baka Tagalog, baka hinay sabi lang.
Mr.
Kasi
Chairman.
ako sa dito.
Ayan.
Oh,
In the next hearing of the Quadcom, we'll not be asking for an interpreter anymore because Miss Alice Go will do the job for us.
Sobrang nakakagulat na balita. Grabe, Alice Go at Cassandra ang nabalisa. Nagulat hindi ikukulong si Tony Yang ng Kongreso. Babawiin na pera nyo, papauwiin na lang ng China. Ayon sa nakalap nating impormasyon. Napilitan mag-Chinese si Alice Guo at Cassandra Ong, natakot sila baka isunod ng Kongreso kay Tony Yang. Babawiin na kasi yaman niya dito. Hindi na siya ikukulong, papauwiin sila dun sa China. Ayon kay Congressman Benny Abante, pinaglololoko niyo mga Filipino, isang hindi nakakaintindi daw sa Tagalog, tapos dalawang hindi marunong magsalita daw sa Chinese. Napaka-fluent ng mga salita ninyo. Hindi na kailangan ng interpreter sa Congress.
Kay Tony Yang, you're still very young. Tony Yang, how old are you now? Saan yung ating interpreter dyan? Ilan taong ka na?
55 or 54.
55? 54?
1970.
Can we have the interpreter here, please? So, I just would like to ask, na-expire na rin yung contract niya, she went out. Pero naiintindihan mo ba yung sinasabi ko? Konti lang, no? Ito, tatanungin kita. Kanina, sabi mo na naging maganda ang negosyo mo dahil meron kang nagtrabaho ka, may perseverance ka, may integrity ka. Yun ang sabi mo kanina, di ba? Oo. Bakit dito ka sa Pilipinas nagnegosyo, hindi sa China?
Kasabot ka, Bisaya?
Marunong mag-Chinese.
Kasabot ka, Bisaya?
Pero si Alice Go, pwede makatulong. Can you help? Okay. Ang tanong ko ganito, bakit, sabi niya kasi, kaya gumanda ang kanyang negosyo rito because of hard work, perseverance, and integrity. Ngayon, ang tanong ko ganito, bakit siya nagnegosyo sa Pilipinas, hindi sa China?
Mr. Chair, can we hear Alice Go speak in Chinese? Please use the microphone.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pakitanggal mo yung ano mo, tanggal mo.
Medyo nagkakaroon
Walang
ako sa-
germs dito masyado. Okay, can we hear the answer, please? Can you speak in Chinese and tell him?
Sige po. 英文嘅話，即係啲今日是用菲律賓再生啲，唔是用大陸再生啲。
因為我嚟菲律賓揾做年咯，按主意石路吧，按主意習慣咯石路。
Your Honor, matagal na daw po siya dito sa Pilipinas at nakasanayan na daw po niya dito.
Hindi kaya nga, ang tanong ko ganito, bakit dito siya sa Pilipinas? Bakit dito sa Pilipinas nagtayo ng negosyo, hindi sa China? Sapagkat sa China, pwede rin siya maging persevering, pwede rin siya magkaroon ng integrity, pwede rin siya magkaroon ng hard work. Bakit dito sa Pilipinas nagtayo ng negosyo, hindi sa China?
伊的意思是讲说，你敢若是选择点咧菲律宾，毋是选择点咧中国做生意。你用中國嘛是有法人也骨力地做生意，敢若毋是用中國，敢若是選擇菲律賓。
因为当时伫中国出来了咯，咱就按水反骨咯吧，按水反骨咯。逐项咱也习惯咯吧，生活习慣咯，参
你也有講係嘛？我哋直係講。
我袂晓講嘛。你就是
Your Honor, ang sabi po niya, nakasanayan na daw po niya dito sa atin sa Pilipinas.
Hindi naman siya Pilipino eh.
Tama ba yun, Cassie?
Iba yung Filipino, Chinese. Hindi naman siya Filipino, Chinese siya eh. Hindi siya naging Filipino, Chinese. Di ba? Tama?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Ayun, tama daw.
Pakitanong nga siya. Tama.
Ikong sa dito唔是菲律賓lang, di si Jungkook lang.
其实若是伫我心内哦，按水反骨咯，我家己都认为，就说咱是菲律賓人咯吧。
Ano sabi? Ano yung kasi? Go ahead.
伊只是第一問題話說，為什麼你選擇菲律賓唔是大陸？
因為菲律賓這個環境咱習慣咯吧，來反骨咯吧。因為菲律賓ako baka Tagalog baka hinay sa bilang.
Mr.
Kasi
Chairman.
ako sa dito.
Ayan.
Oh.
Mr. Chairman,
Overtime.
Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of Congressman Abante, in the next hearing of the Quadcom, we'll not be asking for an interpreter anymore because Miss Alice Go will do the job for us.
Yes, can we have the answer please?
Oh.
Okay, 继续。Let's continue.
Di bale, sasagutin ko na lang. You tell him ha, sapagkat dito sa Pilipinas, nabibili niya ang ibang opisyal dito ng pera. Meron ba siyang kaso sa China? Meron siyang kaso?
Wala pa.
Kaso, wala pa daw.
Wala.
Wala kang kaso.
Wala.
Pero mo, alam mo yung kaso.
你在中国没有案件？
没有啊。他说什么？
在中国没有案件。
Kita nyo? Nahuli natin. Marunong mag-Tagalog to, nakakaintindi.
你听得懂？
Huling-huli.
有些一点懂，有些不懂，有些听懂说不出来。
Yeah, sometimes I understand, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I cannot express myself.
Oo. Sabi niya wala siyang kaso sa China. Correct.
Yeah, 所以你在中国没有案件。
pero dito may kaso na siya.
但是你在这里有案件，你在这里菲律宾有案件。
什么案件啊？
Anong case daw po? Anong kaso daw po?
Teka, pakisabi nga, Mr. Casio, yung kaso niya. Immigration law. Pakisabi.
Mr. Presentation, so he is now dubbed and he is alleged to be an undesirable alien.
哦。
就是不接受、不欢迎的外国人。你在菲律宾不是不受欢迎的外国人。
Oh. Can you imagine? You have been an undesirable alien for 25 years, but you are able to put up a big business in this country. Niloloko mo kami mga Pilipino. Yun ang ibig sabihin. Pakisabi nga sa kanya, niloloko kami mga Pilipino. Niloloko mo kami.
他说什么？
Sabihin mo. Alam niya eh. Teka. Alam mo, di ba? Niloloko. Alam mo yung niloloko?
他说什么？
Kunyari ka pa eh. Niloloko mo ako eh.
你在骗我们菲律宾人，他是这样说。
没有啊，今天没有啊，
No.
我今天没有骗他们。
I'm not really a loco. I'm not the loco.
Hindi ko siyang sabi, loko-loko siya.
I'm not loco.
Ang ibig sabihin, niloloko niya ang Pilipino. He is making a big fool sa mga Pilipino natin. Pakisaya mo nga sa kanya, please.
你在当我们菲律宾人是白痴，你在骗我们。
没有啊，今天
No.
我不知道他怎么这样想我啊。
I don't know why you're thinking of me in that way.
Ha?
I don't know why you're thinking of me in
I
that.
don't know why you're here.
我不知道你怎么懂得我刚才说的。他们说你在骗我们菲律宾人。
Kung ako, Mr. Chair, kukumpiskain na lang yung yaman nito at pauwi na sa China ito. Anyway, as we conclude this 7th hearing tonight, and we are going to start with Season 2 with our teleserye in Congress, I am deeply disturbed, Mr. Chair, by the testimonies we have heard thus far. The narratives of our witnesses reveal a troubling reality, a reality where little value is placed on human life. It is with a heavy heart that we are confronted with this painful truth of men and women in uniform who have sworn before God and before men to serve and protect the Filipino people were transformed from being agents of justice into agents of injustice just because of the love of money. As it says in Galatians chapter 6 verse number 7, and I quote, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." It's just like what Congressman Romy Acob said, this is now the time of reckoning. This verse serves as a powerful reminder that every action has corresponding consequences, and that those who commit evil will eventually face judgment, no matter how they try to hide from human law. One may be able to evade the judgment of men, but no one will be able to avoid the judgment of our Lord. Based on the testimonies and evidence we have gathered, this representation reiterates the recommendations that, in my view, can address the issues we have unearthed as regards extrajudicial killings. Number 1, enact a law which defines extrajudicial killings committed by any public officer, personal authority, or agent of a personal authority as a heinous crime. Extrajudicial killing may be defined as, I quote, "any killing under than that imposed by the state pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution of heinous crimes," end of quote. The penalty of life imprisonment shall be imposed upon those who may be held liable for the offense. It shall also define salvaging as murder or killing committed or ordered by any person, public officer, personal authority, or agent of personal authority. Moreover, a presumption of administrative negligence may be defined as arising from an increase in the number of extrajudicial killings or salvaging in the area of responsibility of any public officer, personal authority, or agent of personal authority, with the exception of areas declared by government as combat zones or conflict areas, and despite continuous allocation and disbursement of intelligence funds or similar allocations from the local government to such public officers. This proposed law will send a clear message that such violations of the right to life does not have a place in our society. Number 2, provide reparation and compensation to victims of extrajudicial killings. The state, as duty bearer, must recognize the human rights violations committed against the victims of extrajudicial killings, torture, and other gross human rights violations committed during the war on drugs, and even here as we talk about gambling, pogo. The state must also provide reparation, compensation, monetary and non-monetary, psychosocial rehabilitation, and other effective remedies to the victims and their next of kin. It is our duty to offer some measure of solace to those who have suffered unimaginable loss at the hand of government agents. Number 3, strengthen the Commission on Human Rights and grant it full authority to act on complaints or motu proprio in all cases of human rights violations. I already have filed this bill, Mr. Chair. The CHR, as an independent office created under the 1997 Constitution, must be given such other powers and functions to investigate other cases of violations of human rights that should fall within the authority of the Commission. The Commission must be provided an effective and expanded structural, operational, and functional independence, fiscal autonomy, to ensure prompt, immediate, and unrestricted discharge of its functions, and the power to issue injunctive, relief, and legal measures. It must also be given rightful access to police documents, right to receive regular reports on drug-related killings from concerned agencies, right to conduct unhampered investigations, and right to prescribe criminal and administrative penalties for non-compliance of concerned agencies. This will empower the Commission to pursue justice with more vigor. Number 4, review Republic Act Number 8551, otherwise known as the Philippine National Police Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998, and the PNP Operational Guidelines on Rules of Engagement. In the exercise of its oversight function, Congress must make a close scrutiny and review of PNP laws and guidelines. In particular, Section 39 on the powers and functions of the Internal Affairs Service of the PNP and its conduct of motu proprio automatic investigations involving different incidents, and especially those incidents where the established rules of engagement have been violated. It is time to reevaluate the policies of the police institution that have allowed these abuses to occur. Number 5, create an independent and impartial mechanism or commission to investigate and bring perpetrators of drug-related extrajudicial killings to justice. The establishment of a commission to hold to account the violators of human rights in the anti-illegal drugs policy and ensure that those with command responsibilities be held accountable must be considered. Parenthetically, the Commission may also be directed to institutionalize mechanisms for providing adequate redress and reparation for the victims and their kin, including rehabilitation and support services such as access to safe houses, legal aid resources, and social and health care services. And number 6, file appropriate charges against personalities who may have committed crimes in the war on drugs during the Duterte administration and even today. Corollary to legislative powers of Congress to enact laws and to conduct inquiries in aid of legislation is to cognate action of recommending for prosecution those erring individuals who may have violated our laws. I firmly believe that the rule of law is the foundation of all of our basic rights, and where there is a culture of impunity, no rule of law could ever exist. Kaya mga kasama, sama-sama tayong lalaban sa kadiliman at sa kasamaan. Hanggang sa muli natin pagkikita, abangan ang susunod na kabanata. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Point of before admin, we'd like to recognize Senior Deputy Speaker Don Gonzales.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Meron pa akong tanong, nag-closing remarks ng aking Chairman Abante. Nagtataka lang ako, alis sa Pogo at kasi, paano nagbabayad yung, di ba sugal yan, di ba? Nagre-remit yung pera from Pogo to China. Sinong representative na nangongolekta sa mga pera ng Pogo papunta sa China?
Mr. Chair, how I wish to answer pero I really have no idea po talaga.
You have no idea?
I have no idea po talaga.
Kasi alam mo, nakakapagtaka eh. Alam mo, paano pinapadala yung mga pera, yung Chinese new one ba yung pera sa China, di ba? From China papadala sa Pilipinas, di ba? Ngayon, pag darating yung pera dito, CNY, papapalit mo ng pesos. Ngayon, saan kinukuha yung perang yun sa pang-construct ng mga Pogo? Halimbawa, ikaw, meron kang lupa sa Bamban, sa Porac. Saan galing yung pera? Galing ba sa China? Yung pera na yon, CNY ba yun to pesos?
Your Honor, doon
Hindi
sa...
ko rin malamang sagutin.
Actually, honestly, kung alam ko lang, sasagutin ko po talaga. I think it's better po na yung mga Chinese po ang sumagot po talaga dyan kasi sila po yung nagbabayad sa mga contractor. Never ko naman po nakausap ang contractor nila kaya hindi ko po alam kung paano po sila nagbayad.
Kaya nga tinan mo kung meron kang 46 billion, allegedly, 46 billion, saan galing yung 46 billion na yun? Pesos. AMLA. Sabay may AMLA dito? AMLA. Hindi nyo, paano nyo machi-check yun? Hindi dadaan ng bangko yun. Manggagaling sa China yung pera, pero papapalit ng peso dito yung China.
Sir, kung sa bangko po, kung yan ay na-transact, marireport po yan as long as more than 500,000. Kung yan naman ay money exchange, marireport din po sa AMLAC, sir.
Kaso hindi money exchange, hindi sa bangko. Ang nakakapagtaka dito, from China to Philippines, di ba? Pero pag papadala ka ng pera sa China, pulis lang, pwede nang i-freeze yung pera mo sa China, di ba? Unlike here, may proseso pa. Di ba? Bawal sa China yon. Kaya dito, ang tanong ko lang, naglalaro sa isip ko noon pa, paano makakapagbenta, makakabili ng mga properties, ng mga lupa, makakapag-build ng mga malalaking gusali all over the country kung gagamitin nila Chinese yuan, CNY. Yun ang tanong ko. Paano na i-convert yung Chinese na pera sa pesos? Sino ang representante ng mga Pilipino o mga Chinese businessman na magpapalit ng pera sa atin? Ang hirap sagutin nun Ako hindi ko masagot Paano ka magbabayad ng multi-billion dito na may construction kang Pogo sa Bamban, Pogo sa Porac, Pogo sa Cagayan de Oro, Pogo sa lahat ng bansa? Alis, di mo ba talaga alam yun? Paano yun?
Your Honor, hindi ko po talaga alam.
Alam mo, ang hirap talaga. Ito, AMLA na kayo AMLA na kayo, pero hindi dumadaan sa bangko yan. Sa computer lang, na internet, doon dumadaan yung pera. Yun ang galing ng China. Ipapakita ko sa inyo. Yung proceeds ng pera sa Pogo, yung fees at winning, pera from China, ipapadala yan sa China. Tapos, yung personal na account nila, ipapadala, halimbawa, I'm not saying si Cassandra o si Alice, ipapadala yan sa pera nyo. Pero hindi dadaan yan sa bangko. Paano mo babayaran yung mga supplier mo? Paano mo babayaran yung mga kontraktor mo? Kung saan nanggaling yung pera mo? Yung Pogo money, papadala yan sa China. Tama ba? Tapos yung China ngayon, papadala dito peso na. Hindi natin naintindihan, di ba? Ang hirap. Ang hirap talaga. Ako rin, nahihirapan ako Kasi kung multi-billion pesos yan, paano mo idadala sa Pilipinas yung multi-billion pesos? Bawal yan. Di ba, AMLAC?
Sa China, Your Honor, I would not know the laws in their jurisdiction, Your Honor.
Ngayon, alam mo, dapat gawa tayo ng batas. Hindi lang sa banking institution. Pag-aralan din natin yan, AMLAC. Kasi dyan nang gagaling. Kung sino yung representative na kumukolekta ng Chinese yuan. Tapos i-convert natin sa peso. Kaya alam mo, itong si Mr. Tony Yang, Dr. Winston, huwag mong palabasin yan. Yan si Mr. Tony Yang. Nakukunwaring walang alam, pero napakaraming alam yan. Alam mo, yung pinresenta namin sa inyo, kanina, ni DSGG, alam niya lahat. Naniniwala ka ba sa akin, Dr. Winston Casio?
I agree, SDS.
Pakiulit mo.
I agree in your contention, SDS.
So, alam mo, yan, tinan mo tama. Kunwari walang alam yan. Pero lahat alam ni Mr. Tony Yang from kapatid niya si Michael Yang, hanggang kay Alan Lim, alam niya lahat yan. Kung paano nangyari ito, alam niya lahat yan. Kung makapagsalita lang ng Kapampangan to, Kapampanganan ko na lang ito eh. Diba? Ginuloko niya yata tayo. Sorry. Hindi. Ibig ko sabihin, parang ayaw niya magsalita ng totoo eh. Parang si Alice, parang si Kat.
你跟他说不能说杨，买给杨给我兄弟就什么都
You cannot put together the younger brother Michael Yang and him.
他兄弟老找他这他的我这我的，真的是这样。
We have been separated for a long time already.
Alibay na lang palagi yan. Diba? Anyway, good morning. Good morning sa atin lahat. Today is September 28. Ha? So, AMLA, Mr. Chairman, we will craft a bill kung paano natin mapapalakas hindi lang sa banking institution, meron pang ibang klaseng pamamaraan kung paano nila pinapadala yung pera para mawas nila dito sa Pilipinas. Yan po ang aking punto, kaya hinabol ko itong tanong na to sa inyo. AMLA. So, Mr. Chairman, maraming salamat sa ating lahat. Alam ko, today is September 28. Yung ating mga fellow legislators, kailangan nakabakasyon na po sila, pero nandito pa rin sila. We are very thankful to our leadership that this Quadcom serve the purpose. Serve the purpose because marami po tayong nakita na mali at kung paano natin ayusin yung mga pending laws that to strengthen our existing law in this country. So, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of this 19th Congress, thank you to the leadership, Speaker Martin Romualdez, at sa ating mga kasamang kongresista na nandito hanggang umaga from 10 o'clock in the morning up to 12:22 this morning. So, maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Ngayon, ikaw, bilang Pilipino, ano ang masasabi mo at reaksyon sa balitang ito? Mag-iwan ka ng komento sa ibaba at atin pong babasahin isa-isa.